back with Card Subject to Change. We are in double digits, episode 10. Coming at you. I am joined as always by the All-Father, Darius Carter.
Congratulations on all of his traveling.
Yeah, all his traveling.
He's setting the world on fire, man. And Royal Rumble weekend.
Yep.
Oh, stop it.
And he's joining us
flowers,
this time
man.
with a red turtleneck this time.
Wine red.
Yeah, wine red.
that's
I'm
what it
sorry,
was.
it's wine red.
He looks stunning.
Thank you, Darius.
And we are joined by a shirtless God King, Danny Maff, the legend. And as always, I am Shawn Donavan. I'm just the third wheel here. So
The Messiah.
Look at it.
So I figured a fun topic for us that we really haven't touched on yet.
Which I have no idea what the fuck what we're going to talk about.
Because I have to go on the fly here. That's how you work best, on the
That's
fly.
right.
You just
We
kayfabe.
can't plan A to Z. We're not like the rest of 90% of the independents out there. We're trying to teach them how to work on the fly. So anyway, I thought a fun topic for us to discuss today that I think a lot of aspiring wrestlers probably would be due for some knowledge is talking about the unwritten rules, so to speak, of the industry, the do's and the don'ts, the stuff that we were told not to do back in the day where we all came up that kind of passe now. You can do some of these things. And we all understand a lot of those unwritten rules were because of the fact that, the business was very protected. And to a degree, I think the business is still protected, but it is not protected, at least in my opinion, on the independents the way that it should be. So I don't know, whichever one of you guys want to start in terms of, unwritten rules. I mean, I've got one that kind of just start off lighthearted, right? We were always taught you're not supposed to take pictures with any guests, right? Especially you're coming up, right? You have a name, talent on the show. We were always told, hey, don't be a mark and take a picture with the talent, right? I think we see as it evolved today, right? It's changed, right? We're seeing more and more now, especially as our society evolves with social media. We see a lot more older wrestlers who are seeing young and their parts of generation pass on, where they're saying now, take the picture. Like, who's it really going to piss off? And to a degree back then, I don't think it really pissed anybody off because I think it came from that kayfabe era of being afraid that if you took that picture, it's going to leak out somewhere. And I think maybe that's what they were afraid of. But we see it now. I think now it's different, right? For example, Danny and I, we've gone to shows. We've taken pictures with guys that have made us who we are, the reasons why we got into the industry, going to California, getting to meet and pick Kevin Sullivan's brain, God rest his soul, taking a picture with us, getting to work the legendary Haku, him taking time after the match to give us feedback. And we take a picture. It doesn't mean that we're posting it all over social media. We're keeping that as memories for us. So, I mean, what are your guys' takes on some of the do's and don'ts? I mean, that's just one for me. You know what I mean? I say to everybody, yeah, take the fucking picture because you never know when it's the last time you're going to talk to somebody, meet somebody. Grab that memory. It's not going anywhere.
I personally wish I kind of wish I did that more. I take the picture inside my mind. I remember the moment.
Yep.
Meeting, William Regal, in 2016. Didn't get the picture, but it's in my mind, and I'm like,
Yep.
I know about it. People that were there know about
Right.
it, but I didn't take the picture.
I'm
So
the same
part
way.
of me is like, man, take that picture. You should, and part of me, because again, I'm so encrafted in tradition and just in old school, and it's not even so much just business wise related with not taking a picture with him. It's just kind of like me as a person. I just don't always make myself a picture person.
Right.
But remember that moment, get that moment.
Yeah.
Definitely get that moment if you can.
And I was the same way back then too, right? I was scared to death of taking a picture with somebody because I was afraid my trainer was going to see me, and next day I'd be taken off the show because I broke the cardinal rule of doing that. So, like, same with you, and I'm sure Mom's the same way, right? We all have those memories in our hearts. We've met some of those people that have tugged at our heartstrings, which is why we're in the industry to begin with. And I say now that's a do, right? But I think where people in our industry may take that to another level that to me I think is a don't.
Yeah.
And we've seen the memes and the jokes about it, right? We've seen the pictures of guys taking pictures with each other after their match, but yet they talked so much shit beforehand in their promos and their typed up promos on social media, but then, oh, thanks for the match, brother, let's run it back.
Yeah.
And to me, again, people can say, oh, that's passe, you know, you're antiquated with your thinking. No, to me, that's just how we do business in our industry.
Yep.
You know, if you're trying to create something to suspend a fan's disbelief, you're going to kill that by taking that picture with them afterwards. Now, I get it if it's two guys that have respect for one another and, you know, maybe they're two baby faces and they take a picture afterwards, it might be a different story. But for me, if I'm trying to build my brand and my character, why am I going to try and ruin that suspension of disbelief by taking a picture with my opponent afterwards? It just...
So there's a time and a place, right?
Yes.
And it all means it's all about the when and where, and I think that's another point of the do's and don'ts. It's not just particularly the action itself, it's when to take that action and when not to take that action. You know, there could be a time to take a picture with the guy, right? Like, you know, again, me and William Regal, for example, that could have been an opportunity to take a picture, right? But if I'm having this feud with your TJ Marconi, and we are busting each other up, and we're going town to town across New York, Staten Island, Brooklyn, you know, hitting, you know, the Bay Area if we can, wherever. We're having a tussles with each other. Would it make sense for us to take pictures at the restaurant? Would it make a lot of sense for us to be sitting next to each other at the restaurant? You know, there's a time and a place, and that's the point of the do's and the don'ts is knowing when to to do these things.
And no one says don't take the picture. Maybe don't post it for like 10 years.
Right. Don't post it. Keep it to yourself, or release. Get a quick story out there. Or stories up for 24 hours. I mean, find different ways, but it's just be smart about it. It's a business.
Exactly.
You're not gonna see Hulk Hogan sitting next to Iron Sheik at the restaurant. You know, let's keep that there, because ultimately you do want. The goal is to make money out of this.
Of course.
You do want people to see you. So do's and don'ts, whens and when
not to's. Yeah. What's your take, Maff? What are do's and don'ts for you, or you know, unwritten rules that you live by that you think should still be upheld in the industry today, especially on the independents?
I'd love to see Maff pontificating.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Well, coming up.
Did we put the bottle over?
No, he didn't. That's the second time.
I'm sorry, man.
This son of a bitch is done. I'm watching him. And I even gave him the Iggy. I did the smell. You know what I mean? But,
I apologize.
Those sleeves are too tight on his shirt, man.
Here we go. Here we go.
We did not.
This guy's 380 pounds. He's wearing a medium-sized sweatshirt over here. But
hey,
anyway,
can do it.
I apologize. My CTE after doing this for so long is kicking in. But we all got CTE, right? So maybe not Darius yet, because he's smart. He doesn't take as many bumps. He's smart in his work rate.
You heard that yet? That was powerful.
Darius' head's nice and still shiny. He doesn't have those gig marks in him.
Tuck your chin. Tuck your chin, kids. All right.
But we are joined.
With the styles
we are
clashes.
joined by a returning guest, by Jefferson's Bourbon. We did not get a chance to finish this a few episodes ago, so it's only fair that we do Jefferson's right and we polish this off.
Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff. How are you?
We appreciate it, Jefferson. This is an ode to you.
That's it. Back to you,
please.
Senor Gorilla.
Well, coming up, it was definitely at one point, you know, frowned upon when you're a younger, upcoming talent to bother talent and ask them for a picture or stuff like that. But you know, the older that I've become through the years, I say it's absolutely necessary for me, because I've had so many moments, right, in wrestling, man, like so many people, and I don't have any pictures. You know, Dusty, Terry, Jimmy Snuka, Morocco, I don't have any pictures with these guys, man, and it's just, you know, did I mention like guys like Muda? Like, when am I gonna ever see these people again? You know,
right?
And it's just like I don't have any pictures with them, you know. And even like Joe, Punk, AJ, you know, the guys that
you came up with,
Dragon, like it's just you don't have pictures, with them.
It's just it was so frowned upon. It was like even today, sometimes I still get weirded out asking someone to take a picture that, you know, kind of tugged at your heartstrings, even just your own peers, right? I think sometimes we get caught up in the locker room banter that we forget to take pictures with each other as memories. Like, same with you guys. Like, I don't have a lot of pictures of my time coming up with guys like Bennett and Danilo and Fred and all these other guys because we were just so in that mode of being told not to take pictures that we thought it meant it was for everybody across the board. So, yeah, it's great that we have these memories in our hearts, but, you know, I think where the younger talent today is more benefiting is, take those pictures, learn from our mistakes, don't shortchange yourself, take that picture, and if you feel like somebody is going to look at you differently, no offense, fuck them, let them look at you differently.
But I will say this, just be polite.
Yeah, of course.
Answer a picture,
Politely take pictures.
know your spot, you know, don't bother a talent when they're lacing up a pair of boots. Or when they're calling a match, or you see them sweating and getting changed, don't walk over to them. And,
It's
you know, because it doesn't work, man. Like,
it's great to be in that. Listen, it's nice to be approached, right? Okay, you know, want to take a picture with you, okay. But it's like when we're in the middle of something, when someone's doing something and clearly in the midst of doing something, do you expect that thing to be stopped and dropped so that the picture can be taken?
Yeah.
You know, have decency.
The common sense aspect.
I mean, common sense is, I don't even like to say common sense. I try to eliminate that term from my mind, because what is common sense? Do people understand common sense? Do the common masses understand common sense? Therefore, it is not common sense. Oxymoron, collision.
Fair point.
You know what I mean? Come on, just have you see someone eating, you know, you see someone at a restaurant, you see someone sitting down trying to enjoy their meal.
Yeah.
You see someone with their family.
No, it's the worst.
Or their significant other. Just be polite.
Yeah.
Just be polite, be courteous, be respectful.
Yeah, I agree.
It'll get you a long way. You attract a lot more beers. You attract a lot of bees with honey.
We know what's on Danny's mind, right?
Hey.
So Darius, you had something before too, right? You want to talk about the do's and don'ts? Let's talk about
don'ts, it. Yes, and respecting the mission. You know, the do's and don'ts. And I think sometimes people try to. Please don't forget what this is all about. This is about entertaining. This is about, putting on a show, but it's about you risking yourself and taking care of your opponent and elevating your opponent and making sure that you both end up in better situations from when you leave. I think a lot of people forget that, and that's something I always pride myself on. I know that you two gentlemen pride yourselves on that, which is one of the reasons why we're so close, is because we understand that philosophy of no matter what's standing against us in that ring, we are going to work to make sure that you get more over after the fact. I'm listening. When I make my entrance, we talk about my entrance, I take my time doing it, whatever it is. But please understand that when you were making your entrance as my opponent, I am listening to the crowd. And I'm saying, okay, let me hear that reaction. You know, okay, it was good. I know in my head, by the end of it, I want to make it better. I know that I'm going to take this. Ooh, and if you're a good reaction, I'm like, oh, this is good. But let's see how I can get that. That's always in the back of my mind.
Right.
And that should be in the back of your mind, whether you're antagonist, protagonist. You should be wanting your opponent to be elevated because it's only going to elevate you. I elevate myself to therefore reflect it upon my opponent. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes we forget that mission. We say, well, I'm going to do my things, you're going to do your things, and it's going to look great together.
Right.
Your paint is red, blue, and orange. Mine is green, yellow, and pink. And we're just going to throw it, and everyone's going to like it. But it's like the art of this is weaving, understanding your opponent. And I just implore people, the do's and don'ts, don't just make this, even if you are, an athletic person or particularly athletic, don't just make this a physical display. The do's and the don'ts are remembering the mission of why we're here.
Right.
And that is taking care of your opponent and elevating your opponent to another level. That's all that it's about. Yeah. And I definitely wanted to cover that because it's been a topic I feel like it's a conversation that's been had.
Yeah, I think when you break it down, right, you're going to go out there and you're going to get yourself over. Your opponent's going to go out there and get yourself over. But when the bell rings, it's making sure that you put each other in certain positions to make sure that by the end of that match, both talents are elevated together because of doing business together, which is what we should be doing, right? I think a lot of times, and I think we may have said this on prior episodes, I know I've said it to you guys in locker rooms, right? I think one of the biggest don'ts that I see a lot of young talents do is they go out there and they're trying to just get themselves over for a highlight reel, right? Putting their business together just to create a highlight reel, and what you do is you shortchange the paying customer because... Sure, it's great. You're not going to get the reaction because you're just going to cover that up with fancy music. So you're shortchanging the paying customer out of a match that could be so appealing to the fans that they want to come back and see you, but yet all they remember are the moves that you did. They don't necessarily remember you and get invested in you as the persona, as the character. That's what it should be about. I definitely think that's a don't, but as you said, that is a do, right? We're there to take care of each other and do business, because if you scratch my back in that match, I'm going to scratch yours, and we're both going to come out better than the way we started the match. That's the ultimate goal. I don't know if you feel the same way, because we've had those conversations, prior.
Right. It's just... When you're walking into a booking, I always like to show up. I like to find my spot in the locker room. I like to camp out. I like to look at the lineup, see where I'm at, see if I'm on early, opening, after the opener, before an emission, right after an emission, right before the main event, or the main. I like to know what's in front of me, what's behind me.
Yes.
What's being done. I would like to see on the independents, I would like to see, or I would like to hear through the day or through the afternoon, I would like to hear somebody once in a while say, excuse me, guys, who's got the back? All right, we're taking the back tonight. All right, we're taking the leg. All right, we're taking the arm, or we're taking the ribs. We're taking the neck, we're taking the throat. We're doing a jump start. Or, I would like to see more communication. Even though it's written on the board, I would like to see more communication.
Right.
And I would like to see a little bit more professionalism from a lot of the talent. I will say this only because I've been on a few shows where, the guys just come in and they're just happy to be out. They're happy to be there. They're happy to be out. They're just hanging out.
It's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time.
This is business, Show up. This is your office. You're showing up to do business. Dress the part. Walk the part.
Be the part.
Yeah, man. Have proper hygiene, and, tie your boots correctly. Have pride in your look. Have pride in the picture that you're painting that night. And what are we doing? What kind of story are we telling? Are we just, am I working a smaller baby face to where, hey, the baby's just going to work from underneath, and then we're going to go right home? Right. I like to do my things different. I don't like to have a A, B, C, D mentality, because I feel like when you do that, a lot of the times you are prejudging.
Stiffing yourself.
You're prejudging the reactions that you might get from the crowd. It might be a hot crowd. It might not be a hot crowd. They might be hot on you. They might be cold on you. So you kind of got to listen, touch. You got to feel. You got to put yourself in the moment. I would like to see a little more of that.
Yeah.
But then again, like you said, and we've said it over and over again on this podcast, wrestling is like a buffet table. It's a little bit of everything for everybody. I understand there's matches out there that got to go out there. They have to,
Fireworks.
Yeah, man. You got to do your best ofs. You got to. There's certain matches where there's storytelling, man. Right. There's certain guys that are straight heaters. You got to let them get their heat. I'm in that enviable position sometimes where if I'm closing, I have to sit through a whole show of talented athletes
that have done it all,
that can do things.
Can and have done it all.
Look at me. I'm a fire hydrant. I'm built like a fire hydrant, right? There's only so many things I could do, but I know what I cannot do, and I'm not going to try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you know you can do. Don't use shows to try something. Because I've very well asked people, well, have you done this before? No. Okay, we're not going to try that tonight.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, I'm not going to be a crash dummy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Period. Point blank, simple, period. And vice versa. If you get hurt, I don't want to be the opponent that was in the ring with you when you got hurt, because then you're liable. You are in that conversation because you attempted a 450 that you have not done. When you tried it on the crash dummy, your knees were hitting its chest. You didn't hit chest to chest.
Exactly.
So why are we doing this move here? Oh, well, it's a big show, and it's my first time wrestling you. Okay. Yeah. Why is it that when it's the first time you're wrestling someone, you feel you have to do everything?
Right.
Why is the mentality not instead, let me meet you? Let Darius Carter meet Dan Maff. Let you meet Shawn Donavan. Why do we have to have all of these?
Right.
People jump the gun so much. And it's like, listen, I get it. You see your name on the card against somebody else, immediately your mind starts flooding. Wow, I could think of this or that we could do. But again, this is where you think about who you're wrestling, when you're wrestling them, the time you're wrestling them. This is your first time wrestling this person. They're coming into your promotion. Do you need to have that type of match? Is that the right match? Or maybe this one is, where you introduce him to the people. Maybe that's your role, right? Maybe you were put in that position because you're trusted. The crowd knows you. So your opponent should be able to work off of that and to, oh, look, now if they perform their part, maybe they do get brought back. And then who do we say? Well, thank you, Darius, because you were that person. You played that gatekeeper role or for that match where we knew you were going to get your reaction. We needed the opponent to get a good reaction. We trusted him to be in there with you. We were watching to see what he would do. Mm-hmm. And because of his performance, we're going to bring him back. Yeah. You should feel something as a performer saying, wow, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, especially if you're the first time there, right? We've said it before. We talk about wrestling being a buffet table. Your first time coming in, you don't have to give them your appetizer, your main course, and your dessert all at the same time. Because if you do that, what's left on the menu? Like you said, it's a buffet, right? But give them introduction. Give them the appetizer this time. Let the crowd see what they can do. Leave them wanting that person to come back, and then give them not the main course. Maybe give them the palate cleanser, right? Give them the sorbet. Mm-hmm. Then you give them the main course, and then when it's time, you give them the dessert, right?
Don't go out there in the opener and give them 12 fucking false finishes.
Yeah. So we talk about doing business, right? It's the same thing. And I know you said this before, right? You like to feel the room out. You like to know what's in front of you, what's ahead of you, right? And I think for me, and I'm going to say this because it's my opinion, but I know it works, so I'm going to say it right now. Promoters need to take hold of their cards when they put that sheet up. It shouldn't just be match 1, this guy, 10 minutes. Match 2, this guy, 12 minutes. What you're doing is you are letting the inmates run the asylum. This is your show. So if you want your show to go right, and I say this with all due respect, if you are a legitimate promoter that understands pro wrestling and understands how to build a card to a main event, give your talent specific instructions of what you want want because you know where you're supposed to be going with that talent. Hey, match 1, we've said this before, 7 minutes, no strikes, tell me a story, straight comeback to a finish. Clear, defined actions of what you want from your talent. Hey, match 2, I'm going to build a story. I want you to work this guy's arm and I want to roll up finish. Mm-hmm. Give your talent clearly defined instructions based on their character, based on their persona, and knowing what they can and cannot do, and then give them the reins to go out there and tell that story you're looking to craft, knowing that your talent should be trusting in you to know the direction you want to go with them. Yep. I don't think it's fair when talent goes in and just think that their matches are a free-for-all, because what ends up happening, and this happened just recently, talent don't pay attention to who's on the show, right? If you have experienced veterans or guests that do certain things and they're in your top spot, but you go and do them, that means you either haven't done your homework on whoever else is on the show, or you have no care or regard for that talent, right? Easiest way, Tito Santana's on your show, no one should be doing a flying forearm.
Right.
You know, Jake the Snake Roberts is on the show, you're not doing a DDT. Because if you do a DDT and they kick out at 1, but Jake does the DDT and he pins the guy, well, whose DDT? Right. Whose DDT means more? Right. You know what I mean? So I think it also comes down not just to the talent, because you said it's a business. This is not the Wrestling Friends Network. No. This is a business. We're here as talent to make money, but if we all work together, that promoter makes money, which means the promoter has more money the next go around to hold the show. If you go into business for yourself and that promoter doesn't make the money back, chances are they may not be running again, which means you're now out of a booking. So the selfishness has to come at it from the talent's end, but the business end has to come at it from a promoter. And if that talent wants to come to you and say, well, I don't like what you have me doing in that match, okay, you have 2 options. Feed me something better, or please do what I'm asking. Or if not, you know what? There's guys that want to come work my show. I can find one of them. There's always going to be somebody lurking around that's looking for an opportunity. So what a promoter should be doing in that role too is they're also helping you learn how to go about your matches when you go other places, making you learn how to be valuable in other places. Meaning, hey, I just worked an arm in this match and it really got over. So when I go do this show, hey, I might bring up the idea, what if I work his arm? Mm-hmm. You're learning as well as teaching your talent, but like you said, it's great that the talent need to know these things, but promoters should be knowing these things. Absolutely. I know there's always the banter back and forth of storytelling doesn't work on the indies, and I say bullshit. Right. So because that's my opinion. That's bullshit, because if you can build something, yes, it's going to take time. Yeah. But if you are committed to it and you start to see it pay off and you start to see the fans increasing, to me, that tells me storytelling works, because it's not the matches necessarily they're invested in, which they can be. They're invested in the personalities, which means they care about the personalities, which means they care about the situations those personalities are being put in. And that's the investment of why people buy tickets. Please tell me, and I would love any fan or wrestler to tell me that someone's buying a ticket to see that particular person do a Canadian destroyer. Right. I've never once, as a child, never said, I'm going to buy a ticket to the Meadowlands and spend $30 because I want to see Jake Roberts hit a DDT.
Yep, it's way more than that. It's who he's hitting it on. Right. It's why he's hitting it.
And it's the emotion of hearing that music, that note when it fucking hits, and then watching Jake work his way to the ring with the bag over him with the snake in it, hoping. I'm praying to see. I'm buying that ticket because I want to see Andre get draped with that snake over him and watch him freak out. Or Kamala, right? That's what I'm buying a ticket. You know why? Because I'm invested in Jake Roberts and I'm invested in Andre. That's what I'm buying a ticket to see. Yep. So if we do things the right way, and I apologize for going off on a rant, but that's just me.
Real.
But that's how it should be done. To me, that's a do and don't. And I'm learning that more from a booking perspective of putting talent in situations where they can shine, but teaching them how to do things differently. So when they go other places, their matches and their stories will then stand out, which now makes them more attractive to a promoter who wants to book them more consistently than Joe Schmo, who's just going in there to fucking do 20 moves in a 6-minute match so he can create his fucking highlight reel. So he can put it on social media because there's nothing different from his and anybody else's fucking highlight reel when everybody's doing a destroyer, everybody's doing a cutter. Now all of a sudden the big thing is let's do pile drivers now.
Yeah.
Anyone can do all that shit. Show me personality in a highlight reel. Better yet, show me a vignette. What's your character all about?
Can you talk?
Right.
If I give
all
you
those
that
things.
mic, are you?
Yeah,
Don't do that. Yeah.
So, but that's just me. When it comes to an unwritten rule, to me, what should be a written rule is promoters should be taking hold of their cards
Yep.
and putting stories together to get the fans invested in the characters that they're building.
It's a forced. It's no. You don't be. It's don't be apologetic.
Oh,
It's
no,
a
I'm not
forced-
apologizing. I'm just apologizing for going off on the rant.
No,
but it's true.
It's a forced. And what it is really is it's a forced collaboration because now you're making sure that you have a connection to your
Yes.
talent. It's one thing to book your talent and be a promoter, and there you go. I book them. I promote the show, and these are the people I like, and I just let them have their matches because I trust them. Trust them. You're a fan of them, right? You're a promoter that is a fan of the people that you're booking, so you're not telling them what to do. You're not pointing them in any direction because you're just glad that they chose to wrestle for your promotion.
Mm-hmm.
You should have a layout. You should say, listen, here's this guy, here's that guy. I booked Darius Carter for a reason. I booked Dan Maff for a reason. I booked Shawn Donavan, Azrael, Arcadia. I booked these people for a particular reason. Here is what I would like out of it. And now you get that wrestler to come over to you as the promoter, and they'll say, hey, this is great. Or hey, I have an idea. And then the promoter, now you are collaborating with one another for the same goal of making what's on that paper the best piece of art.
Yep.
Okay? Here's what it is. That's what. And again, with these promoters, we're calling these, the TV. These are TV tapings. These are this. These are that. If it's TV, are you telling people what to do? Are you instructing people? Do you have a clear layout? No, because we love to use that. This is a TV
I've heard it
taping.
for 20 years. I got live TV taping. Where's it going? It's going back in the day, it used to be, it's going in the promoter's bedroom so every night he could pop the VHS tape in and pop himself.
Right.
But it's not going anywhere. There's no public access channel that's been going on. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's bullshit.
And again, we're using it as a term because are you running your show, your event?
Like a television
TV?
product.
Here, I booked this for this reason.
Yes.
I need that. I need your back work for this because later this is going to come back down the road.
Well, let me piggyback on that.
Hold on. Bob's. I can see him. He's stewing.
Hey,
he's stewing.
There's a lot of promoters. There's a lot of promoters, that are guilty and fall under the umbrella of letting the inmates run the asylum. Just, hey, I just figured he would know. Or I thought he would know better. No, man. I've been a part of the best shows are the ones where the promoter goes and sits with every match. Okay, so this is what we're doing. What do you think? Or whatever. Listen, it's a collaboration, like you just said. It's a collaboration between yourself, the person you're working, the promoter. They all, you all have to be on the same page. There has to be some sort of direction, a plan in place. Give me a direction. Let me know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Is this just a one-off, or are we moving towards something else? Or is this kid on the come up? Or is this loss actually going to get this kid over?
What's the objective?
And then we're coming back, and I'm going to see him in another 4 months or something. I think I would like to see promoters just take that ownership of getting with the talent, being hands-on with the talent, sitting down with the talent, you know, with his pen and paper and telling you exactly what he wants, what he needs, and say, okay, now this is what we're going to do. Okay, we'll circle up. We'll get back to you. I'll get back to you at intermission.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know. Those,
yeah.
I would like to see more of that.
Yeah.
I laugh because don't be the promoter that runs away.
Oh,
And we know what I'm talking about. When you said, because it was a trigger. When you said, you know, sit with the wrestler, the performer, and come together with your, you know, strategy, collaborate. And it's not even just going for money, promoters, or when we're trying to, you know, the payday. That's I knock on wood. That's not a problem I really have to deal with. But when it comes to working with your talent, or when it comes to, hey, you know, we're two performers and we don't know what the goal is.
Right.
Well, all right, let's go speak to the promoter. And then we go to find the promoter. And the promoter is out near merchandise, or is out in the ring. He's inside the ring.
Or he's putting his main event match together.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, so you're outside, standing in the middle of the ring. You know, there are kids bumping in the ring, right? Or kids falling around, rolling around in the ring 2 hours before showtime. This
insurance
is why,
liability.
You want to know the secret as to why Darius Carter doesn't want to show up that early? Because I'm tired of seeing it.
I was just thinking that.
Comes in an hour before.
I was just thinking that. I was like, this motherfucker's putting himself over.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
He's justified though.
I'm justified because I've seen it.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
It's real. It's real though, guys. Come on,
Yeah.
like we're trying to know. We just need to know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, this person's winning. That's winning 12 minutes. What else? What else? This is my first time here. Okay. What else is? Would you like me to do a promo afterwards? What does that promo entail? What is your next show? Okay, well, no, you know, next show we're gonna have you come out, attack them, and then that'll lead to the third show where you guys will have a rematch. What is the point of what we're doing here?
Right. What is the point of why that talent is booked? Or why are you booking me on the show? Is it a one-off, or are you looking to do more? Because if you are, okay, how do I make sure I can find a way to get over on your show, collaborating with you, that makes sense, that when I come back the next time, there's more meat on the bone. It's not just cold.
Right.
But at the same token, right, the promoter has to also be flexible in their plans, right? You may not know 100% what the character's persona is, right? No one knows the character better than the person themselves. Maff is, you know, I go to town all the time, I'm like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this, but, you know, it's a loose idea because you know your character better than I do. And there have been times they've come up with a better way of doing what I'm trying to get across than I did because they know their character. I'm going to trust in what you do because we're having a conversation. We're having a rapport. I'm not just saying, go out there and give me your best fucking hits and then you do everybody's move under the fucking sun.
Right.
We're doing those things. But at the same token, right, the other thing that kind of is a peel back to that I think wrestlers need to understand when you're dealing with legitimate promoters, at least it sticks in my craw. I hate the whole my character wouldn't do this or do that. Please do me a favor, and this is not directed towards anybody in particular.
Broaden it out.
Please learn how to work first before you have all these things about what your character will do and won't do, because that sticks in my craw, right?
Mm-hmm. Sticks in my craw.
And it's silly shit, right?
Yeah.
You're talking to a guy who has worn a Tinkerbell costume and got over wearing that costume, but you're telling me your character won't do this or do that. Bullshit.
Yeah, it's a phase.
Especially when you're a heel. The heel is supposed to have egg on your face. To me, the more egg on my face as a heel, the better, because now it's when it's my turn, it's justified. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah,
that's the one thing I cannot stand. Now, if it's Danny Maff telling me or Darius Carter telling me or Haku telling me I wouldn't do that, yes, you've earned that right. But not when you're a fucking year into the business and you having no idea who you really are yet.
Right.
But you're telling me I wouldn't do that. Come on, man.
And you need to be put in those uncomfortable situations early so that you can learn responses. Everyone can tell you how to respond to a situation. Everyone can say, hey, when this happens, do that, you know?
Yes.
But you need to be put in the line of fire to learn how to come out relatively unscathed or unscathed overall.
Yeah.
If I didn't learn early on in my career to go to certain places and, you know, wrestling in, you know, PA and Lansford and Tamaqua, if I didn't go over there wrestling people that maybe they shouldn't have been wrestling, right? Who knows? If I didn't put myself in that situation, I wouldn't have learned how to fully protect myself. I wouldn't have learned how to, and you need to learn that early so that the earlier you learn these lessons, the better you can build upon them as years go by. Right. So that when you are, you know, 10, 15 years in, you didn't learn a simple lesson 10 years in. You learned it 2 years in and have crafted it to this point where it's at an evolved level. Learn your lessons early. Don't be afraid to learn, and water your plants. And just let that thing grow. A lot of times people want to get to the finish line so fast they skip the lesson to get the achievement, to get the award.
Yeah. I can see you watering a lot of plants.
I would water, yes. I'd like to take care of things. I like to take care of things. I like to see things grow. Yes, it's a nice thing. Photosynthesis.
What do you
like
grow?
To see. It's selling. That's I'm working with you. But you know, I like to see life grow. It is a beautiful thing is seeing a flower blossom, and that's what a performer can be. That's what a show can be. That's what a match can be. Yeah. I look at it like that. How do I have the best possible match? That means how do I tell the best possible story? How do I elevate you in the best way? How do we get your person?
Hey, Ricardo, you rarely miss. You know. Thank you. If anything, the question I always see asked to you, because when we work, right, it's like...
You said rarely miss. I'm like,
all right, no, I'm kidding. You're like, all right, either I'm watching Darius or I'm going to listen. And then there's a part 2 to the story. Let's see when he walks through the curtain. What's going to happen when he walks through the curtain? Usually the promoter's like, you had 10. You did 17. But if it's a good 17, see, but you also can't give a guy like Darius 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. It doesn't work. You can't give you know what I mean, 10, 12. It just doesn't work, man. We're storytellers, bro.
Exactly. We can't give you 30. That's when you get warmed up. You got to give him 50. He's got the whole second half.
I like to be
hammer.
I like to be in and out.
You set yourself up for that one.
Bringing the hammer on him.
I like to be in and out. I don't like to overstay my welcome out there.
Bringing the hammer on him. Bringing the hammer. Hey, listen.
No, you're right,
we're giving you our bumps. So it's
because listen, what you have is when a promoter doesn't set the stage and doesn't set
boundaries
and a hierarchy. Like, hey, this is what I want. You have now. This is the flip side of not having any of that, and the inmates are in the asylum. It's when you have your opener just went 22 minutes. Now your second match is a 6-way that just went 40 minutes.
And where was the crowd, by the way, for all this?
Asleep.
You know what I mean?
By match 3, they're asleep.
Who's listening to the crowd?
Right. Now, match 3, you have, I don't know, let's say the girls go out there, and then you have another tag match. Before you know it, now it's halftime, and it's halftime.
Intermission.
Now you got to cut intermission.
It's 10 o'clock at night. It's like, oh, we're going right through intermission.
Right. And then what do you do as a pro at that point? You got to go tell your main event, hey, I gave you 15. You got to go 6? Because we're in New York. We got to be out by 11 o'clock. Like, that's not fair to them.
It's happened.
What you got to do as a promoter, again, it's a do. You got to reprimand that fucking talent and say, hey, I gave you 10. You went 20. I'm giving you one more chance. You do it again, I'm never booking you ever again. Start holding people accountable as a promoter. Don't say, they were supposed to be given 10, they went 16. Okay. But if the crowd shit on the whole match, okay, that's on the talents.
Yeah, you have to look at things
Right.
from an entire show perspective.
Right. You're running a business as a promoter, right? So you have to enforce and be a boss, right?
Right.
Because to me, I look at it as if a promoter's booking me, you're my employer for the evening. I'm doing a job for you. I'm coming in and I am going to be given what my job description is for that evening. And based on the skills and responsibilities I've been given, I have to do that job correctly. Why do we treat pro wrestling as a free-for-all and not like it's a real business? I don't understand it. But what it comes down to is the promoter has to police their business and their locker room the correct way. If not, like Maff said, the inmates will continue in the asylum, and your opening match is going to go 22 minutes to where they do everything, that there's nothing left for the other 8 matches to do anything on a show.
And it's like,
happens a lot.
what did you want? What did you want from it as the promoter? What did you want? What did you book it for? What was the reason? Did you just book these 2 guys to have a good match? Or did you say, wow, I want these guys to have a good match, but I want them to condense it because I plan on running a best of 7 series with them.
Right.
Okay, well, this means you're going to be wrestling each other multiple more times. You're going to be in this ring again and again and again. So why do we need to have them go, 12 the first time? It's all about the purpose of what you're trying to achieve with these matches. If you're the promoter and you have 8 matches, you should know what you want each of them to accomplish, and you should be able to articulate that. Here it is in a sentence. Boom.
Another thing that rattles my cage is, these kids that'll come up to you and say, hey, could you watch my match? And look, I'm guilty. I'm the worst. Because I'll start talking to Darius, and I totally forget. Or I'll start talking to the guy I'm working, and I totally forgot about watching the match. I'm like, dude, I didn't watch, but I heard it.
It's happened to the best of us.
Okay.
You hope you heard it.
But, bro, sometimes, I've had instances where I actually get invested in this conversation, and I'm in this conversation with this guy, and I gave him just an hour of my time, and I'm articulating things, and I'm sharing things. I'm sharing my brain with him. I think we're connecting. Then he goes out there, and he does the fucking absolute opposite of everything I fucking just told you to do, man.
Even if you just did one thing. One thing.
And then you come to me, you sit there and you say, did you watch it? Yeah, I watched it.
What was that?
You didn't do a fucking thing we talked about.
What was that about?
Oh, but I was going to do that. Well, if you were going to do that, you would have done it.
Right. Oh. And then they look at you with the glass eye.
So then if you sit there, you say to them, do me a favor. Next time you want your fucking opinion, don't fucking come to me.
No.
Waste my fucking time. Because then
yeah.
that person will go on a huge diatribe on X the next day. And you'll be public enemy number 1.
Nah, fuck that.
Man.
Fuck that. What's the Paul Heyman thing? No one can cancel you unless you cancel yourself,
Go
right?
out there,
Fuck that.
Take your time, make things matter.
Yeah.
This is your story. Remember your story, right?
Yes.
And then you come back 16, 17 minutes. You're sweating, both of you, your chest bleeding red, pulsating. You see the handprints. Handprints, deep. Match 4 out of 9. You were the match before the main event of intermission. You went over in your time. And again, it's not just going over in your time. It's what is your mission on the show? And if that's not your position on there and you're not getting that crowd reaction, and you come back and you're sweating and you're like, what you think?
Yeah.
And it's like, but we both spoke before you went out there. You asked me, what should I do? And my advice to you was to establish yourself to the crowd, because neither of you have wrestled here before. Let them know who you were before you did anything, so that they could associate who you are, and then when they see a move, they'll associate that move with you, but they need to know you first. A DDT delivered by a guy with long tights and long black hair does not stand out. But a DDT from Johnny Recon, whatever, boom.
Yeah.
That's the start of the last name. Yeah. Sorry. But, all right, that's different. There's a difference between those two things. Yeah. And people skip that step, and then they come back, and you're worked harder than you needed to work to get no reaction. You come back again, chest bleeding. You're red in the face, sweating. I mean, one of you's coughing up a lung, you're trying to hide it, you're blown up, you're gassed. All that for the crowd to be like, eh.
But instead of asking for that feedback, what are they doing? Oh, my chest looks like chopped meat. I'm a warrior. Look at my chest. Fuck that shit. I'm sorry. Yeah. I hate that bullshit. I just went through hell because I have bruises on my chest from a guy who can chop hard. What the fuck does that mean? What does it mean? Because if I watch the match back and there's fucking crickets from those chops didn't mean a goddamn thing. But yes, let me post on social media that I'm a warrior because I took 1,000,000 fucking chops. Yeah. That means nothing to me. But the other thing that pisses me off, too, that I hate more than someone coming back and asking me for feedback if I watch the match and then telling me, yeah, but, or I was gonna, is when I'm watching your match and I'm giving you feedback, but I'm more interested in giving you the feedback, and the talent themselves asking for the feedback are disinterested because they automatically know they're not hearing what they want to hear from you. Yep. Instead of saying, hey, did you watch my match? What could I have done better? And I should be more invested in your match giving you feedback than the two guys that just went out there and put their lives on the line to do it.
The head drops, they nod their head.
So to me, you know what? Go take your picture of your meat fucking chopped chest that's going to get 100 likes, but at the end of the day, those 100 likes don't mean shit because no one's paying to come see you. So then when you go ask that promoter for this dollar amount, they're going to laugh in your face because you haven't done anything to say to that promoter, here's how I can put asses in seats with the match and the story I'm going to tell you. Because hey, book me because I got 150 likes on my meat chopped chest. Fuck, man. I'm sorry. I'm getting brutally fucking honest because this shit aggravates me. And while I'm on a rant of do's and don'ts, I've said this before jokingly, but I'm serious. Come to your shows prepared with your equipment. Yeah. Don't come to me because I over-prepare, and when I unzip my fucking suitcase, I've got 8 rolls of wrist tape. Don't come to me, hey, brother, I forgot my wrist tape. Fuck you. Go to the dollar store. You got 2 hours before the show. Go find a Dollar Tree. Go buy some fucking wrist tape and be a pro. Don't ask me for fucking wrist tape all the time because I over-prepare and you don't give a shit. Sorry. Yeah. That's my flavor. It's on my fucking mind because I can't stand that.
Brothers, people
I can't stand that shit.
What's the point in having a gear bag if you're not going to put things
in? The best when guys walk in with a backpack or a duffel bag. The fuck you fitting in a duffel bag or a backpack or those little drawstring gimmicks? Come on, man.
A lot of
shopping bag that says thank you 50 times for coming.
Stop it. The ShopRite, the Wegmans bag, and it's like, it's just like all I'm saying is, every
do's and don'ts. Get a proper bag, pack your gear correctly, throw some fucking freshening wipes in there, wipe your ass.
Every supermarket has.
Come on,
you can't even avoid it.
Do's and don'ts, guys.
Yeah,
please.
You know,
he just ran wild.
Listen,
Donavan just ran wild. I love it. I love to see it.
When you wrestle and you're done with your match, stay in the locker room.
Oh.
Yeah, we keep saying this. But
stay in the locker room.
If you hear things repeated, it's because you ain't listening.
Yep.
Stay in the locker room. And please, you indie wrestlers, could you please stop walking through the fucking can? Stop walking through the curtain.
Wrestling dudes.
The curtain is sacred. If I see you walking in and out of that fucking curtain, okay, I will fucking have a shit fit, and I promise you, you will not fucking like me. Okay, nobody, unless the promoter, should be walking in and out of his curtain. That curtain should be saved for when they come out, and that's it. And when they disappear, that's it. Referee, go around. Find another fucking way. Stop going in and out of the curtain because you're devaluing the moment of that curtain. You're devaluing every time you walk through that curtain for no fucking reason. You're diminishing the value of that curtain and the pop, the importance of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Sacred.
After you're done wrestling, if you're done wrestling first, you got to go sit with your girlfriend, your aunts and uncles. Why? Because you think somebody's going to fucking look at her?
Montoya.
You're that fucking insecure.
Montoya.
You're that fucking insecure that you gotta go sit next to your girlfriend and your 12 kids?
Which all of them aren't theirs anyway.
Oh,
you're gonna see them
my goodness.
as soon as you get home.
Mm-hmm. So many Montoyas.
Or the family members that as soon as they get, hey, we're here. Okay.
I gotta come out and say hi.
What the fuck? What do you want me to do? You want me to go out there and sit and have a fucking sandwich with you?
Yeah, this is not how that works. Yeah. We not friends at the show. That's not how that works.
Fans stay on their side of the barricade.
Do's and don'ts.
They go there to see you. Yeah, they will see you when your music hits. Mm-hmm. Don't fucking peep. Why do you got to stand by the curtain and peek through the fucking curtain to see what your family's doing? Shut up!
That's my girlfriend.
Get outta here.
All right, Montoya. Like, so
Well,
what?
you know, here's the reality of it,
see
right?
my girl. I gotta go say hello to my girl. Why? Because you didn't fucking see her today.
Right.
You didn't say hello to her last night.
Did you come here all the way with her? Yeah. It's like there is an art form. There is a profession. There is a mission that we are here to complete.
Keep your funky ass behind the curtain.
Right. Well,
Protect the craft.
yeah,
Protect
two
the
things that
sport.
right. If I'm doing
Protect
if I'm
the
a
sport,
promoter,
do's
I'm
and
doing a
don'ts.
story with you, and I had you at the end of your match get the shit kicked out of you, bruise ribs, everything, and 2 matches later, you're walking through the curtain, clear as day. Hey, I'm totally fine, right? You just shit on everything you just did. You shit on your opponent. You shit on the crowd. You shit on the promoter because what? You got to go back and forth thinking that there's a fucking guy at your merch table wanting to buy a fucking 8x10 or a t-shirt. That's what intermission is for. That's what the end of the show is for. But if you're a smart businessman and you got the shit kicked out of you in match 3, you are never seen the rest of the fucking night. I'm sorry. That's to me how business is done. But at the same token, please, wrestlers, when you're done with your fucking match and you have nothing else to do for the night, get dressed. Stop walking around the locker room and after the show with your fucking gear on like people give a shit. I'm sorry, they don't.
Taking pictures. You're taking pictures in your gear
because to
after
me,
the show and you were match 3.
Right. To me, what that tells me is, oh, you're not good enough to help with breakdown. So you're going to get dressed when the show's over, take your sweet ass time so that when you're ready to help out, everything is done. I've been around this fucking game. You've been around this game. You've been around this game way too fucking long that you can smoke out anybody who does that shit. And if you think I'm stupid, you're fucking wrong. We all know it. Those who've been around the business know it. Get dressed when you're done with your match. There's no need. So I'm sorry, these are do's and don'ts that, yes, this
understand
is
the business
of the business.
Right. So don't get lost in that. Okay, you bring your family, but realize, okay, when you get written off, right, for a show or something like that, realize that that's meant to benefit you because you're coming back. If the plan is for you to come back, so hey, here's this injury angle. I need you to take this pile driver, and then you miss the next show because we can't use you or whatever the situation is, but we have you for the show after that. We have this planned, months in advance. We're gonna bring you back that show in a big way. So does it or does it not ruin the mission when you take that pile driver and then you are seen outside of the venue taking even a quick picture? Hey, here you go. No neck brace, no anything. You don't have anything you're not selling it. Hey, I was on my way to my car, fan. Oh, let me stop. I took a picture of the fan. I made a quick $10. I got my merchandise sale real quick. Stop prioritizing merchandise sales over the business of the business. And you may think, and you may think making $10, and you may say, and this is the problem, right? People will say, well, I am over because I got that merchandise sale. and that's the hilarity of it. That's what they're going to say to you in response. Well, I made money, so I'm over. It's like, but you don't realize you sacrificed 25 when you could have made 100.
Bro, guys don't understand, bro.
You took the quick carrot.
My blood pressure goes up to
activated.
My blood pressure goes up.
Activated.
It only took towards the end,
but we got it. Yes, sir.
Bro,
cheers, man. Activated.
A worker is telling me when he sends me a picture of his 8x10s, his gear, and his merch, his T-shirts. In my head, I'm like, who the fuck's gonna buy this? What, the 20 fucking family members that you have going to the show? They're gonna ask you for a free shirt before you fucking wrestle. So you already spent all this money on fucking.
You're already behind the 8 ball at that point.
You gave so many away, you forgot how much it cost.
And then you start giving away free fucking T-shirts to your family members just so they can wear them, and hopefully everybody else catches on to the incredible shirt that you're wearing that they don't know who the fuck it belongs to. Okay. Get over, dude.
Ooh, brother.
Get over.
Oh, brother. Okay.
Personally, I despise selling merch because I don't like people.
I'm not selling merch.
And I don't fucking like sitting out there with you marks.
Nope.
And you just walk up to me and you fucking look at me. You look at my pictures. You ask me how much is this picture? How much is that picture? How much is that shirt? Meanwhile, there's a printed list with all of the prices. You're asking me how much is every one. You pick it up and you look at it and you look at me and you just think, hey, is that really him? Yeah. Okay. And then you put it down and you walk another fucking direction and give somebody else your fucking money. That's when I want to fucking grab you, headbutt you 100 fucking times and bite your fucking face off.
Hey, Mr. Carter.
That's why.
I know you're a bad guy, but I like you.
Because it's real.
Yeah.
I love those. Tell him. Hey, Mr. Carter, I know you're a villain, but you're a good wrestler.
And what am I supposed to do with that?
What am I supposed to do with that?
So I've never asked you this question, but I know I've talked to Danny, right? To me, if you're a real heel,
come on.
If you're a real heel, and I ask you this question, if you're a real heel committed to the craft, are you comfortable or uncomfortable selling merchandise? Because to me, I feel like I'm a fucking zoo exhibit because I'm like, Maff, I hate people.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm so good at what I do, is because I legitimately don't like people.
They made us do the merch. They made us do the merch at ACW.
I was a fucking zoo exhibit.
And what did I do? I said, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make the fucking price list.
Yeah.
He says, oh God. He said, oh God, what are you doing? 8x10s, $100.
Yeah, get it crazy. Yep. Get it wild.
8 by photo op with both sent to slaughter, $300.
Right. You can't afford it. You can't afford it.
If you want a hug, it's $500.
Right.
If you want to talk to me, it's $250.
That's it. If you want to breathe my air,
thank you for your support, GFY.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what that stands for?
Yeah.
He's gonna. He
But are
doesn't
you the same way though? Would you feel like a zoo exhibit sitting there? Because it's not.
Oh yeah,
it's
I'm not
you.
selling. Listen, I've had people come.
Right.
At that point, just throw some fucking hay on the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give me a dirty bowl of fucking water. You know what I mean? And man, I fucking look depressed. It's the same fucking thing. You like sitting at the zoo.
Give me some chow. No, listen. I listen. I've had people want to collaborate. Ask me, hey Darius, I have this idea for T-shirts and this and that merchandise. If I wanted it, please don't think that's the issue. There is no issue.
Nobody wants to buy your merch. They want to boo you.
I don't
want to throw shit at you.
I don't want to sell any merch.
They want to tell you suck.
Yes, and
you know what I mean?
And I will deprive you of the opportunity. Those people that want to buy the merch, it's even more reason for me to not provide it to you. Man, I wish I could wear Darius. You can't wear me. Man, I wish I could check. I wish I could have a suit like that. You can't wear a suit like
You know what's cool,
You can get
man?
it from the same store as me, but it still
You
doesn't
can't
look
rock
like
it like
me.
you. You
understand
can't
what I'm
rock it
talking
like
about?
you.
You know
Correct.
what's nobody can rock a suit like that.
No,
and the turtleneck, bro.
No,
Listen,
no.
you didn't put over the bottle, but I'm gonna put over. You did it late. It didn't count.
I did it late.
You're
I'm sorry.
reminded, okay?
I'm sorry. I did it late. That's on me. I take the heat.
It's like kicking out at 3.
At 3. That's
At
great.
3.
That's wild.
Jesus, that
That's
means
wild.
I'm trying to save my own gimmick
Gotta
at this
protect
point, right?
yourself,
I
brother.
got to put myself over by
Gotta
kicking
protect
out at 3
yourself.
because I'm going to lay
Yeah,
down.
you guys think you're clever with that, by the way, nowadays.
But
I see that coming back. These young guys kick out at 3.
February 20th,
That's
2025.
Young guys.
And I gotta say this: not everybody can rock a fucking turtleneck like Darius.
I don't think he's the first wrestler in the industry I've ever seen actually wear a turtleneck.
That's a bad dude, bro.
Yeah, that's a bad
Thank you.
motherfucker. So.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You're chilling with this medium polo, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
here we go with the medium pole. Meanwhile, that fucking
He
sweatshirt.
bought it at Children's Place.
Yeah, meanwhile that hoodie, that medium hoodie is sweating right now.
It's not
It's
a medium,
sweating.
bitch, because I got this hoodie the same time you did in Los Angeles.
Here we go.
Remember when you booked this in that
Wow.
dirt cheap hotel where there was ghosts in it?
You see?
There's bars on the front door where you go check
Don't
in.
book the All-Father with Poltergeist, please.
And the hotel
That's not
room
a
smelled
pleasant-
like every drug under the
American
sun.
Horror Story.
He booked this
season-
in a fucking hotel room.
Season 1.
He booked this in a hotel room, and then a
Season
few
5.
years later, I'm looking at Netflix, and they have a fucking documentary on the hotel that we stayed at.
It's
Because
affordable.
people got murdered there.
It's
and
a,
shit.
it's
Not to mention 2 dudes from Jersey walking around a block away from Crenshaw Boulevard
And I
at
didn't know
12
that.
o'clock at night trying to roll up on a drive-through at McDonald's because it's the only that's open and they wouldn't serve us
I had
because
red shorts on, a white cutoff,
wouldn't serve you?
and a red Yankee hat.
they wouldn't serve you.
And he had on.
I had a beard fucking down to here. And we literally walk up the drive-through, and a dude says, "If you don't have a car, no service," and he fucking shut the
He was
window on
scared.
us.
Yeah, he was
we walked
scared.
into the 7-Eleven, they closed it.
Yeah, he was
We walked
horrified.
into the 7-Eleven and they closed it.
Yep.
We're walking in the
That's
street.
right,
The
yes,
cops
yes.
fucking hit us.
Horrified.
They
Yeah.
hit us with the lights.
Yep.
Says, "You boys aren't from around here, are you?"
Nope.
I said, "No, sir. We just landed." So where the fuck do you belong? So we're from New York.
Hey, we're trying to get
So what are you
some-
doing around here?
We're trying to get food.
So we came here to wrestle.
Right.
So well, everything's closed around here. And says, "Yeah, no shit."
Yeah, everything is closing.
so you know
the
it's
moment
funny,
we
right?
walked toward them, they closed. They weren't closed before that.
Here's a little lesson for everybody before we close up shop, right? We do the show in Los Angeles. We were told we had to sell merch because it was a big meet and greet. We're halfway through a $30 Uber, and this CTE motherfucker here realized he left the fucking gimmicks back at the fucking hotel. He had to double back around to go back. Needless to say, yeah, we did not come out in a positive on that night on merchandise. But more the reason why, you know why? We don't fucking sell merchandise.
We had
I'm
good
sorry.
donuts.
We had good donuts, yes. Well, I'm the one doing the exercise while you're eating the donuts.
Yes.
But put it this way. If you go to a show and you see Darius
all
or
about what
Shawn
you
or
do in
Dan
the
Maff,
ring,
99.9% of the time, you will never see a merch table. And I'm not saying for people to not go out there and build a brand and sell merch. But again, the do's and don'ts.
Antagonists.
Know when,
Antagonists.
where, why, how you should or should not sell merchandise.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
But I know Pat Patterson's giving us the fucking pencil, but please.
I would say one thing in closing. Canada,
Here we go.
Mexico.
Canada.
You need Darius Carter and sent to slaughter. Trust me, you bring the 3 of us bald bastards into your
Dangerous.
country.
He's not really bald. He's got a little bit of a fade.
I've
But
got a But the point,
He's out there.
it's
He's
amazing.
a suspect.
It's amazing. It's a suspect. I'm on milk cartons, but I'm not
Listen,
missing.
listen, hey, we need
Yeah.
to come to your country and just fuck shit up.
Oh my goodness! Give us your flags.
Trust me.
We will bear your flags.
We are not afraid of the heat.
No.
We don't care getting police escorted out.
At a time where all your antagonists are afraid of getting heat.
Listen,
Y'all are
99.9% of the industry is afraid of getting fucking heat.
Scared.
Mexico, te estoy
Promoters
hablando
don't-
a ti.
Scared. Oh.
Whatever you said.
Slaughter and Darius to Carter. It's the only way. Canada. Bring us up, baby.
That's it.
We're ready to work. Passport ready, and we're ready to start so much trouble.
And with that, we thank you for joining us for episode 10. We are back with episode 11 shortly. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for the rants. Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure. Card subject to change coming at you again very soon.
The pleasure is always yours.
Every single time. Enjoy the view.